What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So as you can see, or as you saw in the last couple of videos, the mighty Skyline is back. So we're doing a few things to this thing. As you can see, the owner, obviously the wheels that we had on it were really aggressive and he streets this thing now. So the owner's actually bought my CA wheels off me and he's actually put CA wheels on it just to sort of give it that real stock look. It looks ridiculous considering what it actually is. For those of you who don't know about this car, you might be new here. This is a car that we built, or mostly Rex built. I helped a little bit, but while I was building it I was working away quite a bit, so I wasn't here a lot of the time. But yeah, Rex pretty much built all this, smoothed all the engine bay. Yeah, paint and panels all done here, although it's dusty as hell. TI front, Series 3 TI front. R31, it's a pretty cool thing. We made 380 horsepower. It's got RB25 oil pump with billet pump gears. Apart from that, it's just stock bottom end RB30 with MLS head gasket and ARP head studs. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Anyway, we sold it to a bloke, or a mate of ours, Matt, who is the same guy that owns the Hilux that was here. So it's back here for a few things. So he bought the R31 Louvers that I had ready that I wanted to put on the drift car. He ended up buying them off me. I didn't really want to sell them, but I needed the money at the time and he offered me way too good a deal to pass up. So he bought them, so we got to fit them up. He also bought like a grandpa visor for the front windscreen, like what Liam had on his 31. He bought one brand new from a mob. He found a mob that do them brand new for like a couple $100. I think it was about $300 or something he paid for it. I can't remember, but they come unpainted. So we've got leftover paint from when we painted the car. So we've got to paint the visor and fit that for him. Yeah, he reckons it's also got a few things we need to check out, just like wheel bearing stuff and just a general service and stuff. So that's got to happen now. It's pretty much going to be this video, I suppose. Got the big yellow running on Friday. Rex got it running on Friday afternoon because Dad wanted it moved. He actually ran it up on the dyno, made a whopping 90 wheel horsepower. So those of you who don't know about this tonner, this is just another one of our sort of Rex's tonners. Rex owns it at the moment. Was originally Dad's. Dad built it with a blown 454 that he's got over in the corner there. When I got my P's, I really wanted something cool, so I bought it off Dad and pulled the 202 out of Rex's Tirana and put just the 202 in it, prettied it up. It was all tarted up. It's a pretty nice car. It was pretty cool on P plates. Obviously I wasn't allowed to drive anything V8 or anything fun at the time, so just built something cool to take sort of shows and stuff. Well, it's got all GDS dash, GDS wheel, Statesman seats, B&M ratchet shifter. Me and Rex pulled apart the Trimatic and shift kitted ourselves, which was actually worked out pretty good. That was our sort of first hit at a automatic gearbox back in the day. But yeah, Rex dated it for a little while. So yeah, I had it for a while. At the time I was living like right next to the beach and I was sort of just never driving it. So it was sitting there doing nothing right next to the beach. So I swapped it or sold it to Rex. I can't remember what happened, but it's changed hands a few times. Rex owns it at this point. He dailed it for a little while with the 202 in it, but as you can imagine, the old 202 is just a little bit painful to daily drive. It's a bit sluggish, but yeah, well, like back in the day when I built it, it was all sort of chrome, color-coded, same as the car. It's pretty tidy in here. It was a pretty cool sort of show car. I used to take it to a lot of local shows and stuff. But yeah, it's certainly copped the bruise of the weather lately. We do have plans to sort it out, but we're getting there. Anyway. So yeah, whopping 90 horsepower 202. If anyone's interested in buying the 202 and Trimatic, let us know. Happy to sell it. Not going to need it for what we got planned for that thing. Rex actually took the big cruiser out for a strap on the weekend. Went and had some fun with some people that own some pretty cool off-road buggies. Pretty jealous. And yeah, went pretty good. People that own things like that. Whoa, yeah, pretty cool. I do want to do a build breakdown on this thing fairly soon. I feel like it probably doesn't get the love it deserves on the channel considering how much effort went into it and how cool it is. But one day soon I'll do a build breakdown video on it when me and Rex are up to it. Get the drone out. But yeah, I will say as well, the Micra, since I did the works for the Micra, it is a whole new car. It is so much better now. So yeah, like it just, engine's quieter, rides better. Like 100K seems fine in it. Yeah. It is so much better now, so stoked with the Micra at the moment. We actually got to go pick up the new engine mount that they got wrong today. So I'll sort that out this afternoon maybe, or tomorrow or something, but yeah, that's sick. Anyway, that's just a bit of what was going on over the weekend. And we'll get stuck into this 31 and get it done. Oh, actually I've got another mate, Dan, he got a new VZ. It's apparently got a cam and valve train sort of package. I don't know, supposedly the bloke who sold it to him said it made 420 horsepower through the auto. So he's bringing it out just for a couple of power ons just to check what sort of power it's actually making and what the tune's like. So we got that happening this morning as well. So a few things on. Also just been putting up all the flexing credentials on the no cred wall. The credless wall of no cred. It's looking pretty good. We've got some more posters and stuff I've got to buy frames for to actually hang, but pretty keen to get this wall like looking nice and cool. Got some big core flute signs coming as well, chuck one up on the door for on-song performance. So a few things coming, try and get this wall looking, you know, kind of cool. It's a cool backdrop when you got like a car on the dyno. Do that on the wall. Nice. Pretty cool. Trade the big turd 42, eh?
Hey?
Trade up the big turd 42.
Yeah, she's gone. Trade her up. You didn't like the silly boy, so...
Fucking... Not a fan, mate. Not a fan. Righto, so the VZ went 387. I'm pretty sure Dan was told it was around 410, or he's got dyno sheets for 410 somewhere. But yeah, lean as, super lean. Too lean for what we'd like to see. But it wasn't a tune, it was just to run up and get a number. We pulled the wheel off this Skyline. Apparently it's making a bit of noise in that front left wheel. We had a bit of a look, we can't see anything obvious. We wanted to just check before we went to the spare parts shop in case we had to order anything, but brakes look fine. Wheel bearing seems to be fine. We did notice that one of the wheel nuts was really loose when we went to pull the wheel off, so it might have had something to do with that. So, I don't know, we'll just have to leave it for now and investigate some more later on. We'll take it for a drive and actually try and investigate it a bit more. So, the other thing we do have to do to this is, because we converted it to RB25 box, the speedo in the cluster doesn't work. Pretty common issue with converting R31 to 25 box, but we've got a digital speedo adapter thingy mabob that we actually got off Lachlan McCaffrey, who owned the red Niztune 31. So he helped us out and got us that for now to try and get the speedo working to see if we can use it. If we can use it, we'll buy it off him. If not, well then we'll just give it back to him. But the plan is to try and get the original cluster in the R31 working with the RB25 box, because Matt, the bloke that owns it, really wants to have like the stock cluster actually working. So we're going to try everything we can to get that working. If not, he's just going to have to go to like a digital sort of setup. There's no way around it, that's just how it is. But we'll try and get the stock one working originally first. So we'll look into that, but for now we've got to go run to town and get some spare parts, and then we'll come back and keep going with the 31. Righto, so I went to the draft of the parts shop, got defected on the way there in the Micra. Would you friggin' believe it? Defected for wheel poke. What a joke. What an absolute crack up. Ooh. I'm defected for that wheel poke. Frickin' wow. So anyway, that sucked. Got to the spare parts place. Mount's wrong anyway. So their supplier had messed it up. So essentially the whole exercise of going for a drive was just to get defected now, which is awesome. So definitely should have just stayed home today. Not a good Monday. Very uncool, so I'm bummed about it. So anyway, now I've got to put the stock wheels back on the Micra and sort that out, which sucks. Anyway, it is what it is, I guess. School holidays, cops are out in force all over the joint, so it is what it is. Anyway, not gonna lose sleep over it, but it's a real pain. So I've got over here in the corner the louvers that I've already painted up. So we painted it up with the same sort of bumper paint that we used to paint up Rex's bumpers when we did them. And they came out really nice. So they've been here. I cleaned them up and painted them up for him ages ago because I actually sold them to them a long time ago. Got all the clips here. And I've got some Gorilla double-sided tape over there to use as well. So I've got to put these onto the R31, which is going to look awesome. This is this sort of granddad sun visor, which still has to be painted. But as you can imagine, these louvers with that sun visor on that 31 with those sort of stock looking wheels, by the time it's done, it'll be a pretty cool looking thing, I reckon. It'll be like a pretty cool granddad spec looking thing, except for the massive guards that are on it from the wheels that we had. So the owners kept the wheels that we had on it. You're still going to use them for track days and stuff, but obviously they were quite aggressive for running on the street. Especially when you consider that people get defected for that amount of wheel poke in the Micra. Anyway, so too aggressive for the street, so he's running these on the street, but he has kept them wheels to run on the track. But yeah, it's gonna be a cool looking thing. I'd be stoked to get the wheels back on it once the visor and everything's on it, and get some photos done because I reckon it'll look cool as. But anyway, I'm gonna use this Gorilla double-sided tape. Just clean everything up with thinners and get that stock on there, hoping it stays on there. I can't think of anything sort of better than that Gorilla tape sort of thing, short of like proper elasticing it to the windscreen, which I'd rather not do because that just makes it a real pain. But yeah, fingers crossed it sort of stays on there. So I might do that now, considering he's already paid me for that. So, I mean, this whole day is pretty much, I lost money today from that defect. Everything else I've done today has pretty much been a favour already paid for, so definitely should have just stayed at home. What a pain. Righto guys, that's a wrap for today. Didn't end up doing any more work on the Skyline, just we've got like that off-road LS powered trophy truck thing out there. We're chasing issues with that. It's got a Haltech in it, so not making content of that because I straight up just don't know the owner well enough. Don't know if he wants content made of it or anything like that, so not bothering with content for that. But I figured after such a terrible start to the day, I had to do something that we were going to get paid for, so the day wasn't a complete waste. So at least get a few hours in of paid work. Yeah, well, what a day. Anyway, we'll pick this up later on the week. I'm just not done with it. But anyway, Rex is working tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow. I've got some stuff to do. So Rex will continue on with the Skyline tomorrow and we'll get back and see what's going on with it all. So this is what we're trying for the Speedo on the R31 just before I go today, because Rex might install it tomorrow and I won't have a chance to show you. So we got this from Lachlan. He's been helping us out quite a bit. It's really good. He's definitely done us a solid with this thing. So what this is this part on the bottom here is actually a Speedo drive, from what I understand, is from a D21 Navara. So it is the same sort of length and depth that you need for the RB25 box to actually get a speed signal. And the advantage of the D21 Speedo drive is it's a 3-pin electrical sensor, the same as the R31. So as you could probably recognize, this is the speed sensor straight off an R31 loom. Yeah, same as a Pintara. They're all pretty much the same, these 3-wire things. So the biggest problem is that the RB25 speed sensor from the R33s was just a 2-pin Hall effect. Bit of a different sensor setup. And there was no way, like, because the actual, if you've ever seen an actual stock RB30 speed sensor, the actual gear drive on it's very, very short, like nowhere near this long. But this is the sort of length and depth you need to go into an RB25 box, and your top just screws right in. The only problem with this is obviously the gear drive for the D21 Navara here is certainly not what we require. So I'm pretty sure, if I understand right, we need to actually get the Speedo drive, the RB25 Speedo drive out of the box and change over the teeth to put the RB25 tooth on this Speedo drive. But apparently, once you do all that, this setup actually works. And as you can see, that should just go straight into the R31 loom. And hey presto, we should have a working Speedo in the cluster. So that's the plan. I just thought I'd show you that in case I'm not here tomorrow and Rex puts it in the car and I won't have a chance to show you. But that is the plan that we're trying to make work. So if we install this and it works, we'll buy this off Lachlan. If we can't get it working, we'll just give it back to him. Not a big deal at all. And then we'll just have to figure out something else. Something else we're going to have to do. So probably just an electronic Speedo of some sort. But anyway, we'll pick this up a bit later on. Righto guys, so I totally just lied to you. I wasn't meant to work today, but things all got changed around. It just is the way things are with a newborn baby. I am very lucky that I just so happened to start working for myself at the same time that I had a baby, because it's made things really convenient that I can just not work and work when I sort of feel like I want to, or when I need to, which takes the load off a lot. So I commend people who do it and just have like regular 9-to-5 jobs where they don't really have any leniency or can't do anything. It certainly would make things a lot harder. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm working today. Late start, it is what it is. So we'll get stuck into this speed sensor straight up and get it cracking. We've also got, I forgot to mention, we've got a short shifter put in this car. So Matt wants to put a short shifter in it. I'm pretty sure it's a cube speed one, which they're awesome. Righto, so here we have the two sensors side by side. You can see this is just a stock 25 box sensor. As you can see, it's just a two wire Hall effect sensor. And the gear on the end of it's very different to the D21 Navara. But you can see the gear on the end of the RB25 one is circlipped on, and the D21 Navara one sort of seems to be pressed on. So we are hoping that if we just knock out the roll pins in here, these two roll pins, that we can probably just change the whole shaft. We're hoping that's how it works, because to try and get the actual plastic gear off each one and get it, over is going to be a real pain in the ass. The other thing is the RB25 one actually just bolts to the box to retainer, whereas the D21 Navara one actually has a little retainer clip, like the same way the RB31 does. So I'll just have to go for a hunt around. I should have one of these lying around somewhere. I'm confident that I will, so I'll have to go for a dig and try and find some stuff. But we're hoping that that's how it works, so we'll knock these two roll pins out and we'll start with this one. Knock the roll pin out and hopefully that whole shaft just sort of comes out in one piece. And because apart from that, these units, as you can see, they look exactly the same down to the roll pin. These two gears are a little bit different. Oh no, they're the same depth. So either way would work. It's just, I reckon, if the whole shaft comes out of the unit, it's going to be a lot easier just to change the shafts over than trying to mate a gear onto that, because it's obviously been pressed on there. So that's step one. We'll see how we go. Trouble is trying to get a punch that small. It's a very small roll pin. Maybe we can get something onto the end of it and just lever it out. We'll have a look. Alrighty, so I had to turn down our smallest punch on the bench grinder a little bit, but did manage to get the really small roll pin out. So now we're just trying to get the shaft out of it. Alright, so no luck getting these shafts out. We can't, there's something else physically holding it in the unit. It must be pressed into something, or not too sure, but there's no way that I reckon we can get the shaft out before we damage this gear, which is the part we're pretty sure we need. So it's not going to work the way we thought it was going to, but Rex actually checked and you can see the shafts in the unit are offset, which means that even though the other one, the gear is a lot smaller, narrower, smaller diameter I should say, it still will actually contact the gear and work, it'll turn. So we thought before we go through all the effort of changing them over, we're just chucking the sender straight in the box and plugging it in, even though it's going to be most likely the wrong ratio for the speedo that's in the car. It's probably going to read way out. At least it's going to give us an idea of if the cluster is actually working, because we've never actually had the cluster in this car working, the speedo working, and R31s are renowned for having clusters that don't really do what they're supposed to. So at least this way we can double check that the speedo in the dash is actually working, even though it's going to read wrong, and then we can continue on with how we're going to try and get the gear onto that sender, which I think is going to prove to be a bit of a pain, but we'll see what we can figure out and do. We've got plenty of super glue, so. We have speedo. I couldn't find one of the little retainer clips for the sensor, so I just quickly knocked one up out of some flat bar. So that works just to retain it into the box. We started it up. We've got a speedo on the dash, which is awesome. So we just picked fourth gear, ran it up to 80 Ks, got our RPM reading, and we're just sort of calculating how far out it is at the moment. And we'll go from there and see what we need to sort of go from there pretty much. But yeah, that's good, at least that we know it works. That's good. Righto guys, so we crunched some numbers, and assuming that this thing's got 389 gears in it, which I'm pretty sure it does, because I'm pretty sure it was an originally an automatic car, so it should have 389s. And we did some numbers, and going off everything we've got, the speedo's 13%. It reads 13% fast, so our 80 Ks on the speedo is actually, we're only doing 70. So just looking at the difference between this gear and the gear that was on the D21 drive, we're pretty sure that that's going to be reading then far too slow. It looks, by the teeth count, it's going to be more than 13% difference. So I'm assuming what you actually need is the gear drive off the RB30 speedo drive. I'm assuming the 25 one on this one must be a bit bigger. So unfortunately we don't have one at the moment. So that's how it's going to stay, but at least the speedo is working. We're pretty happy with that. Just looking at how the unit actually works as well, where the gear goes onto the shaft, we're not convinced that you'd be able to actually properly put a different gear on that shaft and have it stay there and work. It doesn't look like. We'd have to pretty much destroy one to figure it out. And they've been really hard to find. We're lucky that Lockie had that one there and he let us use it, because we tried to find one and we couldn't get one. So we're not prepared to go destroying it to figure it out. We're going to let the owner know. Matt should just be pretty, I think he'll just be pretty happy to have a speedo, even though it's reading out, at least he's got a reference for speed, and it works. So stoked with that. Anyway, went on with that, went on to the short shifter. It's actually, I don't think it is a cube speed shifter. I'm pretty sure it's just a generic eBay one, but we got it all in there. It's all set up and working. We left the counterweight off and just put the knob straight on the shifter, a little midget shifter. So we're going to send him a photo just to wind him up, just because, you know, it's fun. But yeah, anyway, I'll actually put the shifter together now. But yeah, short shifter's all in there ready to go. So just got to do a service and put the louvers on and then eventually paint the visor. But we want to get this done and everything we wanted to do on the hoist done and get this off the hoist, so that we got that buggy there we want to get in here to work on. So not bad for eBay generic cheapie, not too bad. So anyone that's ever talked to me about this would know that I don't really generally advise short shifters for 25 boxes. They are pretty heavy gear sets in these boxes, and if you aren't pretty kind with your shifts, you will kill the synchros pretty quick. It's the quickest way to kill one of these boxes. So if you are going to run a short shifter just for the feel and the throw and the close gate, just sort of be kind with your shifts. Don't slam your gear shifts with a short shifter, because you will kill these boxes pretty quick. But that's all done, so you should be stoked with that. So now we're just going to do a general service and get it off the freaking hoist. But been a pretty successful day. We actually worked out, because the tacho doesn't work as well, but we actually worked out it's just the actual unit. The signal works. We tried another tacho in there, so we made some pretty good progress in this car in a short amount of time this morning. So he should be happy to know all that. And then he can decide if he wants to buy another monster tacho, or if he wants, we've got little tachos that we can run. The speedo is working, even though it's sort of out, and he's got the short shifter, and it's all going to be good and happy. So I'm slowly working on grinding him down to let us tune the Hilux. So I'm hoping to let us tune that on Friday. So fingers crossed, that's coming soon. All right, we got louvers. So terrible shame to let these go. I was super keen to put them on the LS car, especially with the theme of the car. But nonetheless, going to be very cool to see them on this car, which is still a car that we built and had a lot to do with us. And with the visor and the louvers and the wheels, it's going to be a really cool looking car. Pow pow, pow pow. And the other thing is, this car, it does get street driven, and I mean like street driven a lot. So the owner like really appreciates this car. He actually rides it, like drives around a lot. So it would be cool to see it around on the street with all the stuff on it. It'd be a cool looking thing. But anyway, I just spent ages cleaning up all the old glue and goop that was on these clips. Yeah, that sucked. So I cleaned all them up, so I just got to clean them up with some thinners. I've just cleaned up the windscreen because it was filthy. As you can see, this car's filthy. Owner lives like red dirt area, and all of his cars are always just all red dirt. So I've just got to clean up all the patches where these clips are going with thinners on the windscreen as well. And I've got this here, Gorilla Tape. Well, that was short-lived. Genius here just realized that this isn't actually even double-sided tape. It's just the single-sided stuff that they make. So I bought the wrong freaking tape. So that sucks. Like real bad. I'll put this on pause. I'll tomorrow, or this afternoon when I leave, or tomorrow morning, I'll duck into the hardware on the way through town and see if they've got any and go from there. What a pain. Alright, I'll hang these back up. Righto guys, so I spent the afternoon working on the buggy thing. Got a lot of it sorted, that was good. But yeah, actually took this thing for a drive this afternoon after Rex serviced it. It's the first time I've driven it. I'd never actually got to drive it before it got sold. So yeah, this thing's sick. It's really sick, so nah, it's mint. Pulls real hard. So yeah, definitely feel that 380 horsepower. It's more power than mine has ever had. I think the most mine ever had was like 300, close to 325 back before I sold it the first time. So that's the most powerful Skyline I've driven. And yeah, it just comes on hard, just punchy as. So that's sick. What's up guys? Take two on these louvers today. Actually got the right tape this time. I don't know what it is about today, but my lens keeps fogging up like crazy on this camera, so apologies if the focus or it's a bit blurry, but we actually got a Gorilla double-sided tape, so we can actually mount these freaking louvers. The other thing I have noticed, which I did want to point out, is I've been looking around at the whole speed sensor debacle and what we put in there, and I assumed it was a D21 Navara one because that's what I've read works, and that's what we got off Lockie. Well, Lockie sort of just gave us a speed sensor that I assumed was D21. But looking into it a bit further, I'm actually somewhat convinced that it may be a factory VL Turbo gearbox speed sensor, which would actually make a lot of sense. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to lead any of you astray, so I just wanted to point out that I'm not sure whether that was actually a factory VL Turbo speed sensor or a D21 Navara speed sensor because I didn't source it. So originally that's what I'd read before. I've read about people doing that before, using the D21 speed sensor. Me and Rex looked around to try and find one when we built this car to try and get the speedo working, but we couldn't source one. We couldn't actually find anyone who'd sell us one. No parts shops, like no parts interpreters could actually get us any. We called around wreckers, we couldn't get one. So we ended up sort of just giving up. And then Lockie gave us that sensor. I assumed it was a D21, but it may be a VL Turbo one. So if any of you watching have ever done the conversion before, or know exactly what one looks like and may be able to confirm that for us, that'd be awesome. But I just thought I'd let you know that I'm not actually 100% certain now that I've looked into it a bit more. So anyway, regardless, speed on this thing works, which is the main thing. So as well as me fitting the louvers, we've broken out the sun visor that's going on this car. So Rex is going to work on getting that painted up, ready to fit as well. I'm not sure where we're going to paint yet. It's not a bad day for painting though, which is good. We did, obviously build this little booth area, but we have the Mustang here, so we can't paint in there, obviously. And we can't really paint in this shed while the Mustang's in here, so we'll probably just paint it out there. It's only a small thing, it should be fine. It's a nice, still clear and nice and warm day, so, and it's not too humid, so it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Good day for painting. Also got some new stickers made up, which I'll add to the store. This is the render of the R31, which will be going on the back of the R31 shirt, which for people, a lot of people asked if I was going to get it made into stickers. So I made it into some stickers, but there's only going to be a limited amount available. So I'll chuck them on the store, head over to the link in the description and cop one if you would like to get one. Got a little leprechaun there, he's got a little shifter, pretty cool, it's pretty gangster, not bad. And the old Let Labs 31 render, which is just, 31 on TIs. Pretty cool, pretty good. Pow! So the louvers come up mint, they're stuck really well. I thought I only had I thought I was missing one of the clips, but apparently I don't. I actually had all of them, so that's really good. So all the clips are there, it's all stuck on, and because it's designed for the series, I'm assuming it must have been a Series 3 thing that had the brake light on the rear windscreen. So it's because it's designed for that. There's a perfect spot for us to put our sticker, right in the hole. So that's awesome. Anyway, stoked with that. I mean, they're dusty as hell. I've got to clean them up a bit. So's the car. Bless myself. So yeah, need to be cleaned up, but looking great. Really going to complement the look of this car. I think it's going to be awesome. So Rex has just laid some primer on this visor. So first coat of primer. Had to close up all the doors, obviously, and lock up the Mustang in there, just to be safe. But yeah, I think once it's got the visor on it and these louvers, it's going to look absolutely amazing as far as just like the real stock look of the car goes. Like, could you imagine seeing this car at QR, blazing tyres, with like the old man visor, the louvers, and like these wheels on it? Would look ridiculous and hilarious. So keen to get this visor actually fitted, clean this car up and get some nice shots out in the sun. I think it's going to be pretty cool. A bit different to when we finish the car. Very different look, that's for sure. So the other thing we've sort of decided is because these chrome trims are really, really good, like perfect condition, and the visor sort of actually mounts over the top of them. If you've been watching the channel for long enough, you remember when we actually bought the Pintara that me and Rex are currently building into the new drift car, me and Liam sort of went shares in that. The biggest thing was because it had a visor on it, same one as the one we're fitting, or very similar. and Liam wanted it right or wrong for his car, his old silver one that he built. So this is like years ago now on the channel. So if you've been around that long, cheers for sticking around. But essentially, we're pretty sure that mounting this visor on the front of this car is probably going to end up damaging these chrome strips. And when we built this car, we went through all of the 31s we had access to and picked the best chrome off all of them to make sure it was all really good. So we don't want to damage these strips. We want to keep them intact because they're really good. But we've still got the chrome window strips that were on the Pintara, which the visor came off of, which are these ones here. So you can see these ones are already a little bit sort of damaged, not very nice where that visor was. Obviously, must have held water or whatever the hell was going on there. But just the chrome's gone a bit sad. And there's not really a lot of use for these unless you were going to paint them up or fit a visor to them. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to take these strips off, give them to Matt, who owns the car, and he can just keep them aside, keep them somewhere safe for if ever he wants to take this visor off, or if something happens and gets damaged and he wants to remove it. He can put these back on. You'd never know that there was ever a visor on there to start with. So we'll chuck these on, we'll polish them up, chuck these on. Aside from the damage where that was, they're actually also quite good. Got a little bit of a ding in this one, but apart from that, they're actually really straight and not too beaten up either. So they should polish up all right. They've already got that damage where the visors are going to go, which is going to get covered up by the new visor anyway, and that way he's got the really good chrome to go back on the car if ever he decides to take them off. So we're also going to do that. But yeah, this is going to look good. So not much more worth filming or to tell you about. It's just we'll wait until we've got this thing painted up and fitted, and we'll show you what the car looks like. So, big block for the blue tonners back from the machine shop. It's been bought out for Rex's new pistons. Alright, so yeah, block's back from machine shop. It's been bought out 80 thou over for the new pistons. So what are we looking at, 480 cube?
471.
471 cube, big block. Not bad. So he's got his new pistons, obviously. They've been bought to suit the new pistons and honed. But still got to buy new crank and rods for that setup. So still going to probably be a while until that goes because it's not exactly a priority. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be sick. Anyway, we've got this visor and primer now. We've missed the best part of the day. The wind's starting to pick up now. So we'll leave it like that for now. We'll get some paint on it probably on Sunday. I'm thinking about working Sunday. But yeah, we'll see how we go. But yeah, not getting painted today now because that the primer's got to go off, and hopefully we'll get a better day on either Sunday morning or Monday morning to paint it, put some colour on it. What's going on, guys? Sunday morning, and we're out here. We've got a really big week coming up this week, so we thought Sunday we'll get out here and try and make some, like a little bit of a head start, extra progress, take the pressure off for the week a bit, because we didn't work yesterday because I had stuff to do down the coast, and Rex had to go do some stuff as well. So yeah, we thought Sunday we'll come out and try and just get a little bit of a headroom for the week, so we're not so under the pump. So I'm finally editing this James Nolan video, so us tuning James's S13, so that'll already be out by the time you're watching this. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Also go and watch James's version of it on his channel, and you'll find all the links in that video anyway. So we're out here this morning. Rex is laying some colour on this visor, so painting it out here sort of where it's trying to be protected a little bit. It's a little bit windy today, so sort of there he's protected from both sides of the containers and the shed here, so that should be pretty good. So try and get paint on that today so that tomorrow morning we can hopefully fit that to the Skyline before we tune. We're actually tuning Zach Baldy's R33 tomorrow, so if you're watching this as well, that video should already be out in theory, so go and watch that if you haven't watched it already. So yeah, hopefully we can get this painted, get it fitted to the car tomorrow morning before we start on Zach's 33, and that way the R31's ready to go, you know, ready to be picked up, because I'm pretty sure that's the last thing we got to do to it. Anyway, you'll see in this video anyway, it'll continue on with that. And then, yeah, after this, we'll start slamming together the LS1 for the drift car. There's another thing we want to do today to get that finished and out of the way, because it's been in there in pieces for a long time, and it's taken up room in the engine room, which at the moment looks like we're probably going to need pretty soon. So we'll get that together and make a video on that, and that's another thing out of the way in there. So that's today. So if all this content goes the way I think it's going to go in my head, that video will be coming out shortly after this one, so look forward to that. Righto, got some colour down on the visor. It's ready to go on the car in the morning. Gonna look beautiful. Righto guys, next day out here, we're just trying to spray the underside of the visor just so you don't get any reflection inside the car. It's a pretty sort of important thing. But as always, we thought we'd just, you know, just rattle can it sort of a matte black color, just so it's like a low sheen, no reflection, matte. And yeah, same as standard, we always have this problem where we have just issues with spray cans. Every freaking time, I don't know what it is. Like, I swear it never used to be like that when we were younger. I swear we generally used to have cans that would work. These days, like 3 out of 4 spray cans that we buy, whether it be Duplicolor, it doesn't seem to matter really what brand, they just always just suck. They're just, you'll have like 3/4 of a can still and it'll just turn to shit. Anyway, it's a pain in the ass. So regardless, we're trying to persevere and get it done because we sort of wanted it done today so we could fit it this afternoon. Obviously the front is looking amazing, the top of it, it's looking awesome. It's just a matter of trying to get some flat on the underside of it, so painful. Alright, so we just had Zach Baldy here tuning his car. He's just left, so this visor's nice and painted all up now, so now Rex is just fitting it up. So we've had time for that black to go off enough. We'll fit up the visor, and then Mighty 31's ready for some nice cinematic clips of its new look. Some photos.
It needs to clean before that.
No, it adds to the character.
You say so.
Not bad. Look at that. Not bad at all. That looks good. And when it's all clean, it should all look exactly the same. It should be the same color. But it looks like such different colors on the camera right there just because of how dirty the freaking thing is. So Matt, who owns it, lives obviously on a red dirt road, as you can see. But yeah, nah. It's gonna look good. Out in the sun, visor, louvers. Ho, check that out. Not bad at all. Anyway, we'll give her a wash off and get some drone footage. Alright guys, this thing looks so cool. Stoked with that. I reckon Matt's gonna be so happy with it. I reckon it just looks absolutely ridiculous. Imagine this thing out on track at QR, slaying tyres, with near 400 horsepower, the wheels. Looking like that. Just outrageous, I love it. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the drone footage. Thanks for watching. Smash like, smash subscribe. If you want to get some stickers, head to the online store and grab some stickers. And I will catch you on the flip side guys. Peace out, see you, bye.